What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brandon's Face. It's the podcast about a playlist. I'm Jonathan Beardsley.
And I am Brandon May.
We've got a ton of great music to talk about this week, and we're going to dive right into that in a second. But if you like the show, please like, follow, subscribe, that whole thing. Man, what a week. I thought at the end of last week when we read out the new releases for this week that this was going to be random as fuck. And it kind of is, but also some of my favorite releases of the year so far. So let's just dive right in, man.
Actually, I do have one thing I wanted to say.
Oh, hit me.
Yeah,
What's that?
so last week I did talk about the Ocean's album, and I said that I was going to pirate that album. I actually found out that they have a digital download for a Name Your Price. So people
Oh,
go.
that's fucking awesome.
Right. So I don't have to pay $30 to get high quality files. I can do that by giving them $10. So
What if it's
just
like a
wanted to mention
Venice
that one.
boardwalk thing where they're like, yeah, dude, just donations. And then you walk like 10 more feet and there's a guy with a gun that's like $30, buddy.
Oh man, one time that happened to me. He gave me the headphones and I was listening to it. It wasn't on Venice. It was actually out here in the desert, and I was like, man, this really sounds like Fabulous. And he was like, no man, no, this is me. I was like, are you sure this isn't Fabulous, bro? And he was like, no man. So I gave him $1 and he gave me a CD, and then I walked inside to the store, did my shopping thing, went outside, opened the CD, and it was empty. It was most definitely Fabulous.
Oh my God, dude. You know what? Shout out that guy. Come on the pod.
Shout out that guy and Never Ending Hustle. He got called out and was just like, nah.
Oh my God, that sounds like a Portlandia skit, dude. That's fucking hilarious.
All right, man. Well, let's dive in this week.
Let's do it, man. We're gonna start off with a new one from Swedish House Mafia and Friday called See the Light. I don't know if this is the end of an old chapter or the beginning of a new one, but what'd you think of it?
I don't know, man. This is a great track. It's layered, it's techie, it's building, and it does have really good percussion, but it just doesn't hit like their old music does for me for some reason. Am I off base here?
No, man, I think it's a like it, don't love it track. Like it's a solid house track, but it's just as underwhelming kind of as a majority of their album was for me.
Right.
Moving on, we got a new one from Jungle called Dominoes. Thought this one was really good, has a nice groove to it. I just kind of wish it evolved a little more. Maybe we'll get that with a remix or an extended mix, but I dug this one. I just wanted a little bit more from it. What about you?
I don't know, man. I thought that this track was funky. It was dreamy, and it's groovy, like you said, as always from Jungle. I think there's a lot of we've been covering a lot of progressive music even this week, so it's one of those things where we can't hold everybody to evolving, and I actually see that bias coming out in me when I was listening to music that isn't progressive. So I think you might be feeling that also.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right there. They had me thinking, though, when I was listening to them the other day. Daft Punk comes along in the 90s with this kind of disco-infused house sound that they perfect in the early 2000s. Justice comes along in the mid 2000s with a newer version of that sound. Who came along in the 2010s? Is it Jungle? Who's carrying on that? SG?
I mean, yeah, but SG didn't really start like that when
True.
yeah, when we saw SG Lewis, I think it was 2014. He was doing like deep tech house sort of thing. So it was one of those. I don't know,
think
man.
you're right there.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I feel like we've always been like Justice is the successor to Daft Punk, but who's the successor to Justice? I don't think we've really gotten that answer yet.
Nope.
Maybe there is none. Maybe it ends with Justice, as it should.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, moving on. We got a new one from. Is it Dabs or Dubs? Do you know?
I think it's dubs. I think it's also stupid.
All right, DVBBS, Jeremiah and SK8. This is their new one, Crew Thing. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm really happy to hear Jeremiah hop on a track like this and kill it. But I sure hope he's working on a new R&B album as well. What did you think of this one?
Those are literally my same notes. This is a super fun track. Great Jeremiah feature as well.
Yep, he doesn't do this enough, but when he does, it's usually great.
Yeah, no, this was a lot of fun.
Agreed. A new one from Tin Liquor, All That I Lost. I'm sure you're stoked on this one.
Dear God, man. We have like a who's who of dance music in this playlist.
We really do.
Tin
Yeah.
Liquor absolutely kills this track, man.
Yeah, the whole song's great, but from that last drop on is just sublime.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely great.
Oh yeah.
Uh, New one from Adriatic and Mariano Canal called Desire. The lead synth in this one is giving me like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 soundtrack vibes,
Fucking
which is one of my
yes.
favorite games, so I liked it, but I had to note that. What do you think of this one?
Oh, that's funny. I've watched Adriatic's circle performance in Egypt like a dozen times already, or well,
Of course
I
you
listened
did.
to it. It's great. This track is great. I'm really hoping for another album soon, as I play his album Nude or their album Nude at least a few times a year.
Well, we have been getting a lot of new Adriatic music. I know a lot of it's been remixes, but there's been a few originals lately too, so I don't think a new album's necessarily out of the question.
Neither do I, and I sure hope that it's not.
Same. Although I don't know what I'm gonna do with 100 hours of incredible new dance music this year.
Right.
It's so much. All right, got a new two-pack from Latrell called Darlene and Waves. This is an incredible two-pack as far as I'm concerned. Darlene is really layered and beautiful, and Waves is beautiful as well, but it goes a little harder and a little heavier. And the vocals by Vania on that one just make it even better. Really good stuff, man. What do you think of these two?
That same man, Luttrell really did it on this one. Droney atmospheric track like "Darling" is always welcome, but
Hmm.
Waves is just a banger, man. There's really no other way to put it. The percussion, the bass, the song structure, it's all fantastic.
Yeah, really good. Got a new one from West End called Maracuya. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. This one's really fun, man. I felt like I got everything I needed from it after one listen, but I really enjoyed that listen. What'd you think of this one?
I will disagree with you there, man.
You ran this one into the ground?
Oh man, I played this song so many times this
Of course
week.
you did. Of course you did.
Every time this track came on this week, I was just grooving, man. Didn't matter where I was. Car, yep. Work, yep. Grocery store, absolutely. What a banger, man. This is so much fun.
Have you seen West End live?
I have not.
Yeah, I have not either. I saw somebody online post like all the shows that they've been to this year, like the EDM ones, and West End was on there. I thought that was very interesting. This person saw John Summit like 3 times in 4 days, though. I'm kind of worried about them.
Were they like in Vegas or something? Like
Dude,
pool
I don't
parties or
know.
something?
This person goes to too many shows. I will send you the list if I can find it again. But yeah, it makes us back in our prime seem pretty light, honestly.
I mean, at one point, at least I was going to a show like once a month, but that's only like if I was still doing that, I'd only be like five for the year, which
Well, it's way different now. Like DJs are kind of in where the scene was in like the mid 2000s, and that like DJs do solo club shows, but back when we were going, they all played raves or festivals with like
right,
30 to 50 artists. So we saw everyone in one night and had like a month for the serotonin to reset
right.
before doing it again. Now it's like you can really go to it if you're in a city like I am, Portland, or your proximity to Los Angeles. You can go see a different producer or DJ every night if you want. They're going to be at a club.
Yep, that's very true.
All right, moving on. We got a new one from Whistleface and Matt Gray called Run. Leave it to a guy named Whistleface to make an absolute banger like this. Never heard of him before, but I dug this one. What about you?
Speaking of bangers, this track is fucking great.
Yes, sir.
We've covered like a couple of Whistleface tracks since I discovered him on Reddit. Reddit used to have this
Thought
like
so.
live feature where you could go live, and every once in a while I would pop onto that and I'd see Whistleface DJing, and he was killing it every time. And so I found him on Spotify. Obviously followed him, and I don't add all of his tracks, but the tracks like this one,
Oh
they,
yeah, you had to add this one.
yeah,
I
he
got
can
it.
get it.
I get it. Man, we need to do more live online stuff. If you, the 5 people listening to this, want to hear us live on Discord or something, shoot us a message, post a comment, let us know. We'll try and do something for you.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got the Jan Blomqvist remix of How the Flowers Grow by Royksop. All the remixes we've covered from these albums have been great. This one is no different. I have a feeling this one was right up your alley, though.
Oh yeah. Welcome to my song of the week, John. Blomqvist does it
Yes.
again. He has a way about producing and just like remixing that is like so distinct. And God, I really dig it, man. Thank you, Jan.
Yes. All right, got it. The Sasha Caressy remix of With You by Jamie Stevens up next. This is the type of track that's playing at a rave when you're realizing you did not need to take the other half a pill. That's
Yep.
that's the only way I can describe it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never heard the original of this song, but I don't think I need to. This is perfect. So,
Yeah, yeah. Leave it to Caressy.
right, exactly.
All right. Next up, we got this Dante Rose remix of Daydream by Benny Benassi. This remix is great, but I'm kind of running out of adjectives to describe all the great EDM that we got this week. So I'm just going
Right.
to tell my favorite Benassi story, which is from EDC 2010 in Los Angeles, when he was so late to his set that a rumor started in the crowd that he was walking around drunk and did not know he was supposed to be on. I strongly doubt it's true, but I like to pretend that was the case. Benassi, if you're hearing this, come correct me if I'm wrong. What
Right.
did you think of this one, though?
I liked it, man. Electro banger.
Yeah, as is all of Benassi, pretty
For
much.
sure. For
The
sure.
Electro Man himself.
Right, exactly.
All right, man, talk to me about this Black Milk track. Is it just me?
All right, so I had never heard Black Milk until this track, but he's got a lot going for him with this track, and it like has incited me to go into his back catalog. I saw him being recommended online like a number of times with like really high praise. I guess his last album was really special. I haven't listened to it yet, but I will say that I really do dig this track. What did you think about this one?
The beat on it's a little busy, but I really like the vocals. I was just tripping on if I sorted this right. Is this hip hop or is it dance music?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Did you say you have or have not heard any of his older stuff?
I have not, but the thread that I had stumbled upon was, I guess his album in 2019.
Was this like a dance music thread though?
No, it was a hip hop thread, but
Okay.
I mean, this is clearly dance adjacent, whatever you want to call that. You
Yeah,
know?
very much so. The first time I clicked play on this one, Spotify was doing some weird like skipping thing, and I was like, "Man, this is a choice." And then I realized it was not playing the song correctly. Oh man, I've been having that issue a little bit with Spotify since the whole update. Hopefully that smooths out.
Yeah, every time they update, they just can't keep it perfect. So.
They got Zuckerberg back there or something. What the fuck's going on? All right, man. Moving on. We got a new one from Slow Magic called "Avoiding Pain." Talk to me about this one.
You know, I haven't heard a Slow Magic that I've like really liked in a long time, so I don't really add a lot of their music. But this one was an exception to that. I actually really dig this one.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if this artist has played Second Sky, but hearing this before like a Porter set feels like it would be a really good lead in. It's very beautiful, very euphoric. Makes you feel good when you hear it, you know?
Right? Yeah.
I dug it. All right, kind of a curveball this week with this new Benny song Bagels. So, if you're wondering why this track is a little different than what we usually get from Benny, it's because this one was created specifically to help people when they're feeling anxious. She collaborated with a New Zealand mental health charity named Youthline, as well as leading neuroscientists in the country on this track. It's scientifically designed to help reduce anxious feelings, help young people's mental well-being, and help them find calm. All of the income generated from the streams of this will be donated to that charity. So it's not typical Benny pop bangers, but I thought it was pretty cool. What'd you think?
That's beautiful. I had no idea. I thought that this was like a fun break, and obviously bagels are indeed delicious.
She's
But
releasing a
um,
Tycho style album.
I was I was a little weirded out. But honestly, man, I really did like it. Obviously, I like her upbeat stuff way more. But way to go, Benny. That's really fucking cool. Everybody
Yeah,
stream this track as many times as you can.
we stan a queen. All right. Got a new one from Carol G. Amagura. I know we just covered her new album last week, but I saw she released a new song, so I had to add it.
Right.
Again, no clue what she's singing about. That did not stop me from enjoying it at all.
Right.
Did you enjoy this one, or have you been hearing it at work already?
I think I had heard it like a couple of times, but not
Sure.
quite as much as her last album. Yeah, this is another pop banger from Kettle G. Man, she has a great voice. Clearly, a great team behind her. It's working for her. Good for her.
Speaking of Latin pop, I saw Rosalia announced a European tour today.
Hell yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
interesting to think of. Yeah, like I feel like that'd be a very fun place to see an artist like that. I have no idea how they receive Spanish music, but I imagine she's so big that it's going to be very similar in energy to a crowd over here.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Moving on, we got three new tracks from Twee. This is I Got It, Fresh White Tea, and Butterflies. These are three new tracks that she released as part of a deluxe edition of her last album. I thought all of these were great, but I Got It was easily my favorite. What about you?
Yeah, deluxe tracks, man. I think they're just as good as the
Yep.
album cuts, from in my opinion. Twee has really such a great voice. I really don't like the feature Rex Life Raj,
Yes.
but yeah, Fresh White Tea is a fantastic track.
Yeah, she just released a vinyl version of Girls Like Me Don't Cry as well, which I think might be her first vinyl. So shout
Hey,
out
that's
Twee.
awesome.
Got a new one from Coda the Friend. Been a while. This one's called Hope You Heal. I don't know if I've heard him on a bubbly house track like this before, but I really like it. And his natural, like, chest singing voice is sounding really good on it, too. What about you? What do you think?
Funny you say been a while because that's the first words in my notes here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's been a while since we heard a Coda track, at least hours. He's using a lot more auto tune on parts of this track. While I'm not a huge fan of that, John, he seems to use it sparingly to kind of create
Hmm.
different accents in the chorus. I'm really not mad at that. This is a good track. It's not my favorite from his, but I do like this. It's interesting.
I'll co-sign that. Got a new one from Dominic Fike called Ant Pile. He's been my guilty pleasure like artist for so long that I think I'm just a fan at this point and I'm not even really ashamed of it. I know this track is not for everyone. It's definitely not one of my favorites of his so far, but I think it'll fit perfectly onto the album when we hear it, which is called Sunburn and drops July 9th.
Hey,
Are
that's
you
awesome.
excited for that at all?
Look, man, I can't put my finger on what I don't like about this. It's
John Mayer
catchy.
plus Jason Mraz.
It's catchy. It's poppy. It's well written. It's well produced. There's just something I don't like. Is it like inauthenticity? No, the lyrics don't really portray that. This one kind of just like confused me the way I felt. And also, take that back about John Mayer, sir. John Mayer is a fantastic artist.
No, I was saying he is the equation of
Oh,
two
okay.
artists.
Got
Um,
it.
I think it might just be that it's a little underthought. This is like, it's a good song, but this is the TikTokification of indie music, you know?
Fair.
And yeah, I think that the hip hop stuff might not work for everybody either.
Yeah.
This new metal for indie?
Oh my
I hope
gosh.
so. God, I'm just like picturing Limp Bizkit doing Hot Dog as like an indie album. If I
Oh
say
no.
fuck two more times, that's 46 fucks in this fucked up rhyme, Brandon. All right.
Black
Got a new one
Country
from-
Limp Biscuit.
Dude, I keep hearing about this Black Country New Road group. Have you listened to them?
Yeah, I've listened to the album. It's good.
What is it, indie?
Yeah, it's like avant-garde, jazzy indie. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't. I think all the Fantano fans really overhyped this one. I mean, again, it's a good album. I think you should go listen to it. I think it's called Ants from Up There. It's a good one. I listened to it a handful of times. It's worth a number of listens for sure.
I've been following Fantano on Twitter, and he posts some funny shit, dude. Somebody found this like spray paint tie-dyed flannel shirt at like an art fair, and they're like, "What album would he wear to review this?" And of course, right away, he's like, "Where can I buy this fucking shirt?"
Right.
Oh man. All right, we got a new one from Portugal the Man and Unknown Mortal Orchestra that always fucks me up
I
called
know.
Summer of Love. I think this rollout's been very interesting. What about you?
I'm going to be honest, John. I am a big fan of Portugal the Man. I was not expecting nor really wanting an entire album of features, unless the singles are the only ones with features on them. But if that's the case, it's also kind of like weird marketing rollout for singles.
Yeah.
We'll see what the album holds, I guess. I like this song like I've liked the others, but it may not. It just write an album, guys.
Dude, I'm on the exact same page as you. Like, I've enjoyed all of the tracks in some way or another, but that last one with Black Thought was just kind of a mess, like in terms of structure and the way it came together. Maybe it'll grow on me when I hear the album in full, but this one, like, really won't need to grow on me much. I kind of liked it to begin with. Their styles complement each other nicely enough. But I think I'm with you. I just want straight Portugal the Man, at least for a
Right.
single or two, not all of these other artists. But if they want to go the Gorillaz route, fucking do it.
Again, we'll see what the album holds. I'm going to go into it with an open mind. I really love their music. I'm a big fan of this band. Their Oregon City Sessions album is fucking rock and roll, man. Like it is really cool. I was obviously hoping for a little bit more of that on this new album, but we'll see what happens. You know, they made it big with Feel It Still, and that's really great for them. And
I think this is
yeah.
going to turn out to be the EDM remix album because we got an LPGOB remix of What Me Worry that's a fucking banger. We got a Chris Lake remix of Dummy that's a fucking banger. Just keep letting top tier producers remix this shit, and I think it'll come across to us in one way or another, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Very excited to hear your thoughts on this new one from The Voids called Prophecy of the Dragon. Give it to me.
There are a lot of elements at play in this track, John. It's an interesting move from the
Yeah,
Voids.
rock and fucking roll are the elements at play.
Yeah. Again, it's kind of weird knowing that the Strokes have an album recorded somewhere, but we're getting like new Voids and new Albert Hammond Jr. music first. That just seems odd to me, but I like this. The guitar riff that keeps kind of circling back is really neat. Those 80s style like tom hits are so cool. The guitar solo, the kind of weird glitchy vocals, it's really neat. It's a lot, but it's really neat.
Yeah, I agree, man. Julian's kind of just the definition of a fine, aging like fine wine, man. The guy only gets better. The rest of the band kills it on this one, as far as I'm concerned. It's just really, really good shit. And I've been like, at work, you know, we all throw on music, and you can throw on an album, but we usually just say, "Hey Google, play whatever." It's one of those
Right.
like home speaker things,
For
right?
sure.
And usually, like the Marias, that's maybe like an hour and a half of music before it starts to loop. I think I had the Strokes on for 2.5 hours this morning, and it was still playing like new bangers every time.
Right.
It's just like, damn, they are so fucking vast, and even his side projects are delivering pretty great songs like this.
For sure, yeah. Julian, I'll leave you with my favorite Julian Casablanca story. We were at Coachella, I think it was 2011, and they were up right before Kanye West was on, and he comes out and he goes, you know, who's excited for Kanye West? And the crowd obviously goes wild because you know he was the headliner, and he goes, really? It's fucking rock. And then they go in to meet me in the bathroom. That opening riff, I was like, okay,
Dude.
man.
That fucking set was awesome, man. I was there. I wish I knew more of their music back then. I was pretty new to them at that time. I was still very much into mostly hip hop and EDM. But yeah, I remember that moment specifically as a Kanye fan at the time being like, okay. But they fucking killed it, dude. They were awesome. I wish I could go back and like relive that set. That was 2010, by the way.
Oh, it was? Damn.
Yeah, 11 was the Tupac year, which I did not go to.
No. 2012 was Tupac year. I swear.
No,
I swear.
9 Jay-Z, 10
Yep.
Kanye.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes, bro.
I'll bet you $5 right here, right
Bet me
now.
$5. Bet
All
me
right.
$5.
Great.
Coachella. I'm doing it. 2010. If my fucking Google will work where this is going. Oh no, god damn it, you're right. I already said that. You just hear the little Venmo ding on your phone right now.
Ting. No, don't pay me $5. It's okay. No, but that was a really fun show.
It was.
The Strokes have it's a kind of an iconic discography, man. When your least best album, which in my opinion is the Come Down Machine, is still leaps and bounds better than what was being released at the times, that says something. You've got
True, true.
one of the best rock riffs that's been written in the last shit. I don't know how long it's been since this album came out, but I'm gonna say decade. Being Machu Picchu from in Angles, or from Angles rather. Just man, they have an iconic discography, man.
They do, and I think that they're only getting better, dude. I don't know. We weren't doing the pod back when the new Abnormal came out, but that record has grown on me so fucking much,
Same,
man. I
same.
cannot stop listening to it. Ruben's the G, man. Let him produce everything.
Yeah, Rick Rubin produced their new album, which we haven't heard any singles from
God
yet.
damn,
So
we better.
I'm sure it's being mixed and mastered, and they're waiting on vinyl orders and all that fun stuff. So I'm sure it's getting there.
Playing the game. All right, let's move on to this new one from the new hires called New York City. Talk to me about this one.
Canadian pop rock band that I found recently. I really love how catchy this is, man. It's super poppy, but it's great.
Yeah, it's like poppy bordering on indie punk. It doesn't
Right.
make sense, but they're a mixture of Sherwood and Hot Mulligan. Like, they don't really sound like either of them. They just sound like if you mash them two, like it's somewhere in the middle there, which I
Right.
dig. I liked it.
Yeah, I really like this track. Show everybody, go show the new hires some love. They're only at 455 monthly listeners, of which John and I are two of.
Insert McConaughey. Those are rookie numbers. You got to bump those up, Jeff, right here. All right, man. We got a new one from Royal Blood called Mountains at Midnight. You introduced me to Royal Blood, so I'll let you go first on this one.
You know, man, Royal Blood makes, like ACDC, makes the same song a dozen times, dozens of times. But man, I just think that they do this style, and the way they do it is just so good, man. They're a blast live, even for a two piece, because it's just a bassist and a drummer.
Hmm.
And they just have such a great energy on stage. I really like this track. I'm glad they're releasing new music. I think we may have a new album on the way. Yeah, man. What did you think about it?
I dug it, man. It's the riff heavy blues rock I was kind of wanting and expected when I saw you added a new track of theirs. They deliver
Yep.
that almost every time. And they actually just got done playing like the BBC Big Radio One Festival last weekend, and I think
Oh,
they
awesome.
posted a video of that on YouTube, and they still sound great. But they're very much like on stage, like, do people still know what rock and roll is? Like,
Yeah.
they clearly do.
Yeah, most definitely.
Digging it. Let's move on to my song of the week, which is
I
Fail
knew it.
You by
I knew
Movements,
it.
man. Yes, dude. Everything they do is perfect. This one just blew me away. I really don't even have words for it. It's everything I want in a new movement song. The video's fucking fun too. Their new album Ruckus drops August 18th, and I can't fucking wait. What about you?
I'm sure you can't, man. Yeah, I love this song. This was actually my runner-up for the song of the week. They've ever since you introduced me to movements, I've gone through their discography, and they've obviously changed their sound quite a bit since their first couple of records. And I love both sounds so much, man. It's really cool seeing a band evolve and like not hate it, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, they're really growing into their own, man. And speaking of, they just announced a tour with Mannequin Pussy starting at the Hollywood Palladium, which just sold the fuck out. I was
Good for
not
them,
expecting
man.
that to sell out in like a day or two, but yes, good for them. Hopefully Portland doesn't sell out before I have a chance to snag tickets to that one.
It's a great venue too, man. The Palladium is an awesome place, and movements and Mannequin Pussy in the same room is gonna tear it down,
Dude,
man.
it's gonna fucking rule, man. I
Yep.
need to hear Daylily live at least once. All right, man. Let's move on to this new one from Poor Sport called Floorboards. Talk to me about this one.
There's a small emo slash pop punk band that I found recently. I wanted to show them a little bit of love. This track is fucking great, dude. I love the chorus. The drumming is like polished. The riffs are neat, and the bass line, man. Really like this song.
Yeah, dude, it's a great track. Hard to believe it's their debut, at least in terms of songs on streaming. It's
Yep.
really good, really well polished. I like it.
Yeah, this was neat. I really liked this one.
All right, man. Moving on, we got a new one from Cliff Diver and Steven Egerton called Oh Bondage, Up Yours. Only takes 15 seconds for the first horns on this track to come in. They knew what we wanted and they gave it to us. Two thumbs up. What about you?
So this is actually a cover of a London band called X-Ray Specs, who originally put this single out in 1977. Cliff Diver, though, brought the absolute madness with this energy, man. I can't really say I understand why they're like berating the concept of bondage, but you know, I'm about it. This song is really fucking great. It's a fantastic cover. And yeah, man, I really, really liked this one. I think they might have even done it better than X-Ray Specs, although I wasn't there at the time.
Bondage is cool, but ska and bondage do not have crossover aesthetics as far as I'm concerned. So I get it from their angle.
Oh man, have you seen the Nicolas Cage Dracula movie?
Yes, Renfield?
Yes, Renfield.
I have, yes.
I love the part where the
The
guy is
ska.
like this guy's getting murdered and he's like, "Oh man, this is the best part." Will Scott's play?
Dude, the girl in the therapy session complaining about her boyfriend and the ska thing. That scene broke me. The guy
Oh
who's like,
man.
I fucking hate that shit when she said fishbone. And then when they're like, isn't that the genre that's like 90% horns? She's like, that's such an oversimplification.
I was almost crying, man. That scene
Dude,
is
I was.
hilarious.
Yeah, it broke me, dude. That scene was awesome. That movie's getting shit on a little bit, and I think people need to lighten up.
Oh
It's
my
got
god,
fucking
that movie was
Aquafina playing a
amazing.
cop and Jean Ralphio playing a fucking mobster. Do not take it seriously. It's
No,
Nicolas Cage's Dracula. Come on.
it's an amazing movie.
Oh man, he will grow to full power. Why would you fucking word it like that? So good. Everybody check out Renfield. All right, man. Moving on. We got a new one from The Sleeping called The Animal. Not much to say about this one other than I really enjoyed it. What do you have to say about it?
Nothing like some really good post punk. I think this band has a great energy. I just recently found them as well, and I've been really loving their music, man. I'm glad you liked it.
The ever definable post-punk genre, yes.
Everything from Joywave to The Sleeping.
Yeah, everything in music is post-punk in some way or another. There's a
Armin van Buren, post punk.
Oh man, I just love it. Like it's the first post genre. A lot of people learn it's that or hardcore, so you just start thinking everything is that. There was
Right.
a tweet the other day that fucking killed me. It's like guy who's only seen The Boss Baby watching another movie. His one comment. I don't know. It's kind of giving me Boss Baby vibes.
That's amazing.
That's yeah. That's me with the post genres.
That's amazing.
All right. They're playing Spoon at the Cheesecake Factory.
They sure are, man. They sure are.
All right, we got a new one from Polaris called Inhumane. I do not know how you find so much fucking good Australian metalcore, but I'm happy you do, my friend. This one was a lot of fun. I dug it. What about you?
You know, man, I love that you can hear the hardcore influence in this track. They did like a really great job
Yes.
with blending of genres here. They've got that metalcore, the hardcore, the genty kind of like groovy riffs, man. Some fantastic vocals. I really dig this track. Polaris is coming out with a new album. I don't have information on when it drops because I'm lazy, but it will be dropping at some point soon.
For sure. Keep me posted on that. I'll add it to our release calendar.
I will do so.
New one from Rancid, Devil in Disguise. I'm surprised this one wasn't your song of the week.
Honestly, man, we got another fantastic Rancid track before their album releases. I think I'm going to like this album, bro. I think I'm really going to like this one.
Yeah, man, they're 3 for 3 with the singles. Album drops this week. Should be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with that one.
And we got a new one from Black Braid called The Spirit Returns. We've only covered one of their songs in the past, right?
Yes, it was 13 minutes, so you could call that one song an EP if you
Sure,
wanted to.
yeah.
This one is not 13 minutes, but it is under 5. So, yeah, man,
I fell asleep watching Lord of the Rings last night, Return of the King, and it was the part
as
where Legolas
everyone
takes
does.
down the elephant, and Gimli's like, that still only counts as one. That's them with the 13-minute single.
Oh, man, spoilers. I haven't seen that movie. It's been years. Look, man, this solo project is fucking great, dude. I'm sure it takes like so much longer to do things on your own, and this dude is just out here killing it. So I really like this track, man. I really like this style of black metal with these kind of Native American roots. Like, let's go. Really, really
Yeah,
like
dude.
this one.
it's really fun to wrap up this week's singles on literally the most epic note possible.
Right.
This one, it starts heavy, it stays heavy, and guess what? It ends heavy. There's
Who
a
would have thought?
few moments of rest in there, but it's heavy. And I love that about it.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's move on to the EPs this week. We have a couple surprises, beginning with a new EP from Above and Fucking Beyond called Tranquility Base Volume 1. It's about time we got some new Above and Beyond. I'm sure they've released singles since then, but I don't think I've heard anything new from them since 2018. They did an ambient album in 2019 that I think was meant for like yoga and meditation. Sure, it's good if you're into that, but I'm really happy they've returned to EDM. And with such a fucking good EP, all of these songs are really great in their own way, but I could not stop listening to Angry JP8 this week. What about you?
Trance family, bro.
Yes, bro.
This is just what I needed. It's been a while since we've heard the masters at work here. Above and Beyond kill it every time, and this EP is obviously no exception. It's synthy, it's techie, it's exactly what I needed to start my morning. Like every morning, I threw on Angry JP8. Also, when electronic artists do ambient, it's called IDM. So
Hey, I'm not going to say that.
it's intelligent dance music.
Oh, God.
I really love these tracks, man. I didn't know that they were releasing something new. I'm assuming since I'm not on the socials that either you did know or didn't know if it was a surprise. I really like
no
this
idea.
one. Do you think Arctic Monkeys know that they're covering Tranquility Base tracks?
Hotel and Casino. I fucking wish that that's what this was. That would
Right?
be awesome, too. Yeah, these all went pretty hard, surprisingly, compared to a lot of their album cuts, which are much more trancey. This was hard trance.
Oh yeah, this isn't
Fuck
this,
yeah.
this wasn't pretty show me your hands trance. This was this was we're in a warehouse. You might not be safe, but this is music.
This is an
Trance.
arm and prayer hands and point
It is
trance.
not. It is not.
Have you ever seen Above and Beyond live?
I have not, sir.
So I saw them at whatever the last EDC in LA was, and I'm thinking about how far production has came because everyone kind of just had, the standard lighting truss in their video screen behind them. They had like the iPad that they could type messages on and then like hold it up and people would like see it projected on the big screen so they could talk to you. And at the time that was like fucking revolutionary.
Right, brand new
It's
tech.
Yeah, we've come so far since then. I'm sure there's an interface. Well, like fucking Deadmau5 has just completely shattered the game in terms of technology with a live setup. But yeah, I kind of wonder what their shows are like now. I have not seen one in a long time.
DJs either go one of two ways. They either just stand in front of the festival decks, or they bring their whole fucking setup. So
Yeah, as they should. They
right.
played Alone tonight, and I cried. It's probably my most embarrassing Raver Boy moment
Oh,
was
that
crying
oh that's
to
not
Alone
embarrassing,
tonight.
sir. I think getting a light show from glow sticks might have been your most embarrassing.
Oh God, Skittles gloves, bro. All right. How do you pronounce this next artist?
I say un.
Okay, this is from Un. The EP is called Aspect of Obliteration. What are your thoughts on it?
Cool project that I threw on here because Un is one of those smaller techno producers that like truly does it because he loves the art of it, and you can really tell while listening to the music, man. His productions on this are minimal, industrial, and like he kind of exits that 4/4, drum beat boundary occasionally.
Hmm.
But when he does, he only like strays far enough away to keep it interesting. I am a big fan of this EP. Trinity Aspect, Time and Stasis, Winds of Huron. I mean, all of the Floods are right. It's all really good. I
Yeah,
kept going
dude.
back to it, man.
Yeah, as far as these minimalistic techno albums go, this one is great. Lock me in a room in Berlin, put it on full volume. I'm happy.
It's funny. I think it was Recondite that kind of reviewed the first time he played Berghain. And he said, music sounds really different when it's surrounded by concrete and not open air. And he kept saying that, like, when you're in this club, you hear the kick like it sounds like it's clipping, but it isn't. Like the crowd can hear it fine, but like you've got monitors right next to you, and then it just like kind of echoes and reverberates throughout the concrete. And I thought that was so fucking cool. Like just the
Yeah.
concept of being surrounded by like just poured concrete, you know?
I think Tile does a similar thing as well. There's a lot of producers, even Boys Noise, I think he does like a tile room set up a lot that they play in. I don't know. Do you think that the sound is better or worse by the ice cream shop in Berghain?
I'm gonna say worse.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say I've
probably.
never been, but I'm gonna say worse.
How many flavors do you think they have?
At least two.
You got it, right?
Right.
At least. One better be charcoal, too.
They have
Uh,
Neapolitan ice cream, but they're all out of chocolate and vanilla.
Dude, I don't care if you've never seen any of the John Wicks. Watch John Wick 4 for the Berghain-ish relation and for the Justice Genesis drop. Trust me,
I,
man.
I love it when famous clubs get into movies. The Batman with what's his face from Twilight. They did all those club scenes at Printworks.
Oh yeah, they fucking did. That's right.
Yep.
That's so sick, dude. So they don't go into actual Berghain. They do like a club for the movie that's in Berlin, and Sven Marquardt, or I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, so sorry about that. But yeah, he has a cameo, the infamous bodyguard door guy of Berghain. But
Fashion
yeah,
judger.
sadly they do not use it. They use one that is clearly a studio and much more cinematic. It's funny how people keep dancing while people are being shot and killed around them. And I'm like, that seems unrealistic, but you are not going to fuck up a raver's good time if they got into Forgotten. Until they physically have to move, they are going to keep partying.
I mean,
I guarantee you that.
I've been trying to see Road Hat for a decade, man.
Yes. That would be our Road Hat and Drum Complex back to back. We're like, yeah, we're not leaving, buddy. Sorry.
You take care of your business, bro. I ain't seen nothing.
Just don't shoot the DJ and we got no problems, buddy. Oh man. All right, let's move into the albums this week. As the resident Little Durk fan on the podcast, talk to me about his new album, Almost Healed, and its
Okay.
awful album artwork.
Okay. All right. So I think I finally figured out why I do have a soft spot for him. He kind of blends
Please.
this like pop trap that is so wildly popular that I just fucking hate, and like drill music like really well. He's got like just enough edge and like just enough pop that it really kind of makes it interesting for me. I think that's why I have such a soft spot for Dirk. That being said, this album is okay. It's not my favorite of his, and objectively, it's not his best, like at all musically. Kind of seems like he had a concept and then like forgot what it was, and then like remembered 3/4 of the way in, and then like forgot it again. It was enjoyable enough on the first couple of listens, but I don't think I'm going to come back to it, and I don't think I'm going to remember Dirk like this. So I'm going to give this one a 4.5 out of 10. My standout was Pele Coat.
Buddy, you gave it way too high of a fucking score. I hated this dude. I don't like the production. I don't like his voice. Ironic for a guy that goes by The Voice as his nickname. I don't like his
Wait, he
flow and
does?
I don't like his lyrics. Yes, he goes by like The Voice on Twitter or
Oh,
some
that's
shit.
weird.
And I don't like any of the fucking features really. Even the Cole one doesn't really work for me. On
You're not a
top of
fan of
that,
Morgan Wallen?
no, oh my God. Yeah, I don't have a favorite song on here, but I have a least favorite. I'll tell you that. We'll get into that in a sec. But the album, too long, tonally repetitive, and for as hard as it tries to be, it's boring. Like, I don't know what else to
It's
say.
fair. That's
I gave
fair.
this one a 1, man. I searched for something to find to like about it on both listens I gave it, and I found nothing other than moments of the Drew Hill beat. And I think that might have been just like my memory tricking me into thinking it was cool because Drew Hill was the name of the song. But get fucking Cisco on the song. He needs work.
Right.
Come on, man. I don't know. This one was a massive disappointment. I read kind of Complex's instant reactions to it, and even they shat all over the Morgan Wallen song while praising the album in some regard. So you hadn't heard no Morgan Wallen before this feature, right?
Correct.
He's kind of like the it boy in pop country in the moment,
That's what
and
I've
is
heard.
one of the highest selling artists, I think, around right now. Mostly because the genre he's in still buys music because they're antiquated like that. But after hearing this,
Whoa.
What did you think?
He's number 174 in the world. That's awful.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
I skipped this track every time, like I did a number of tracks. I mean, again, man, this album isn't like great, but it's. I don't think it's a one, but I respect your one, bro. You can give this one a one, and I'm not gonna hate you for it. I think I'm always just gonna have a soft spot for Lil Durk. I'm not afraid to show my bias about my
Hey,
guilty
man.
pleasure.
If you give Dominic Fike's new album a one, I will not blame you in one single bit. But can we just agree? Stop putting Juice World on albums he's never fucking ever known about before he died. Like, this
Yes,
guy's
I
on
will
every new
agree.
fucking album with some demo shit that he did. I get that the guy recorded like hundreds of demos before dying, but like, do we really need to hear all of them?
We do not.
I agree with you. All right, let's move on from this. It's an atrocity, and I don't want
It's an
YouTube to have to fucking see this album artwork
atrocity.
anymore. Let's go to the soothing sounds of Arlo Parks' new album, My Soft Machine. I've never really considered myself a fan of like folky indie pop, but the way she incorporates R&B into it just really works for me. And the way this album was put together makes it just a really enjoyable listening experience. Her voice is attention grabbing without ever being overwhelming, and the way she sings each word makes me pay closer attention than I normally would. I don't think there's a bad song on this album. There's a few I don't enjoy quite as much as others, but no skips for me. Overall, I have this one at like a strong 7 to a light 8, and my standout is Devotion, which is by far just one of my favorite songs of hers to date. I've had that one on repeat all week. What about you?
So Arlo has been kind of hit or miss for me ever since I heard her music.
Mhm.
That being said, I I really like this album, man. Bruiseless is like this artful expression of like guilt and humility. As Impurities ended, I realized that I was going to be in for an album that like really uses lyricism as a factor, and that makes Arlo
Mhm.
stand out. And I was not wrong. Instrumentals and production on this project are artsy, it's ambitious, it's flush with creativity. The guitar on Devotion is fucking great,
Yeah.
along with like
More of
that
that, please.
that alt
Yes.
rock twist it takes towards the end.
Oh, soccer
Uh,
mommy-ish, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. The lyrical content is right there with it. The funky Nile Rodgers adjacent guitar lick paired with like the '80s tom drumming on blades is fucking fantastic. She has this kind of like Deb Never meets Soccer Mommy meets Turnover meets tennis vibes on
Yeah,
like Purple
yeah.
Phase,
Nailed it.
which is
Holy shit.
fucking sublime, bro. Pegasus with Phoebe is a fantastic track. Is that a fucking harp? This album really surprised me, man. I came back to it way more often than I thought it would. It's like R&B meets tennis, and I am 100% here for that. I really enjoyed this one. I'm going to give this one a solid 8. My standouts are either Purple Phase or Blades. I cannot decide which one I like better.
Yeah, I think the singles kind of undersold this one, which
For
maybe turned
sure.
out for the best because I was just fucking blown away when I went through it the first time. I was
For
like,
sure.
yeah, this is going to be a good album when I hit play on it. And god damn, I was like, nope, I have to pay closer attention because it's
Right.
that good.
Yeah, I read every single lyric.
Yep, same, dude. Incredible songwriter.
Great, great album. I hope she gets all of her flowers for this one.
I think she will. Um, she's getting them on this podcast, if from nowhere else, but hopefully she's listening. Um, all right, man. We got a few pop punk albums to talk about. First is WSTR, Till the Wheels Fall Off. I know you've been looking forward to this one, so talk to me about it.
All right. This album is pure pop punk. It's just straight up pop punk. There's like pure, unadulterated chaos. There's poppy vocals. There's power chords all over the place. It's really just a no nonsense album. Their
Yes.
drummer is like insane on this record, man. It reminds me a lot of like Better Luck Next Time, or like if Travis Barker was a member of the band when Blink was recording Cheshire Cat or Buddha.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
hear like a ton of influences here. I hear like early Good Charlotte, early Blink. There's like Motion City soundtrack vocal inflections and like tons of early Drive Through Records influence. I absolutely fucking love it. I love a lot of things about this record. There are a few things that I don't like though. I dislike the auto tune kind of used throughout, but that's really prevalent it's like really prevalent on a couple of tracks.
Become a part of modern pop
I
punk, sadly.
I know I don't like the rapping they try to do on 3 Days Sober. Look, man, this album is like a really great listen. Aside from like a few skips, I'll have no problem coming back to it. I'm gonna give it a 7. My standout is Poor Boy. I just can't stop listening to that fucking song. I really, really did like this album. What did you think?
Dude, I agreed. It's so much fun. Like I think we're both reaching for the same era, but yeah, I was getting like Bowling for Soup meets Neck Deep, a little bit of Sum 41 in there. I think they're pulling influence from all over the spectrum, but they do make it their own. These songs are straight to the point, but they pack a surprising amount of lyrical depth. Throw in some catchy melodies and one of the best album artworks I've seen, and you've got one hell of a pop punk album, man. I I know this group has been around for a while, but this is my first time hearing them, and this release definitely made me a fan of theirs going forward. I'm feeling a strong 7 on this one as well, and my standout is that just 3 song run of Till the Wheels Fall Off, Jawbo, and Bot Lobby, with Bot
Yep,
Lobby probably being my favorite of the bunch.
it's a great three song run, man.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Moving into another really fun pop punk album, or pop punk adjacent, I suppose. We got one from Heart Attack Man called Freak of Nature. I knew this album was going to be really good when we reviewed Freak of Nature as a single. I knew this album would be a little weird when we reviewed Stick Up as a single. After hearing those 2 songs, I knew just not to go into this one expecting one thing, but many, and I think that mindset kind of helped me. I really enjoyed almost every single song on here. I don't know if I would have thought sampling a broadcast covering the Kennedy assassination would have worked, but they did it and it works. Kind of. But overall, I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7 on this one. My standout is definitely the title track, Freak of Nature. But I had fun pretty much everywhere on this one. What about you?
All right, man. Here we are reviewing Sum 41's more mature record, Chuck. I'm just kidding. But there are like a ton of similarities here, mainly sonically. This album, lyrically, is much more violent. You
Yeah.
introduced me to Heart Attack Man, and the singles they released were all like, I think were all really good. Stick Up was weird, but it was good. I think some of the album cuts tend to kind of wane in energy, and I think I don't like it. Ham, as I am shortening their name, are at their best when they're utilizing high energy that they can do just so
Ham?
fucking well, man. Yeah, man. It's kind of
I
like
like
Jimmy
it.
Eat World. We won't
I
say that
like
one.
it.
The slower songs aren't really my thing, man. Like Late to the Orgy, Stick Up, God Called Off Today, etc. But the tracks that hit really fucking hit, man. C4, Nine on Your Bedside, Freak of
Yep.
Nature. They all have this like infectious and anthemic energy to them. Those tracks are replayable like fucking crazy. The tracks that I didn't like weren't like bad, they just aren't for me. And the tracks I did like, I really, really fucking liked. I'm gonna give this one like
Yep.
a 6.5. I think my standout is either C4 or Freak of Nature. I really couldn't decide. I was really trying to like just put the one, but like I didn't. I couldn't.
I got you, man. I think a 6.5 is more than fair.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. All right, let's talk about just straight up one of the album of the year contenders. This is a new one from Rodriguez Jr., Feather and Bones. You introduced me to the man, so please, you dive in first on this one.
You know, deep slash progressive slash tech house artists are really funny. They release like bangers as singles and then they like really try to get artsy with their album releases. Sometimes this really works, like take Maceo Plex's Life Index or Adriatic's Nude, and sometimes it doesn't, like Solomon's Nobody Is Not Loved and Maceo Plex's Solar, although I do like Solar, it's just not his sound. Rodriguez Jr., however, absolutely fucking killed this. This is gorgeous, deep, progressive house all the way through, man. Feathers and Bones starts off with the title track, and we have these like cascading synths, this minimal percussion accented by piano with just a fantastic bass line, which keeps adding atmosphere until it fades into Visions, which was the last single that we got for this project. Lizette obviously kills the vocals here as is tradition. Its trancy synths and pulsing bass lines fill out the sound just fucking completely. Next up is Turn the Lights On, which feels kind of like an old ATB or like an old Röyksopp
Mhm.
track with those like spoken word vocals kind of turned robotic, and the like the breakbeat style synth hits. Get some really interesting breakbeat like adjacent percussion on this one as well. We get to synthwave next, and the first time I got to this track, I was already like fucking hooked, man. This track takes you on a journey. It is
Mhm.
masterful progressive house, man. On tape number one, Rodriguez Jr. seems to give us a little bit of a break. This ambient track is like calming as like waves crash onto the shore, overlaid with synths. Jesus Christ, this is beautiful, man. And then we get to Amplify. We covered this when it came out, and it's even better after a track
Oh
like
God.
like tape one
Song of
that
the year
it,
contender.
it, it slowed everything down for us. This is a fantastic track with bass lines that just won't fucking stop. Lizette, of course, works so well with him that it seems like they're just like meant to work together. Um,
I think
Next
this is
up,
their fourth collaboration this decade so far.
correct. And the first single that was dropped for this project was called "Tuning the Moon." This is a masterclass in building energy and like dispersing it across the track. Kind of sounds like a Bodzin track if you
Oh
really
yeah,
listen to
I
it.
could see that.
Lithium is probably the most club friendly out of the bunch, but really, Rodriguez Jr. makes music that, for me at least, isn't club music. It's much more like listening house music. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Orlando, unlike the city, is fucking awesome. The lasers, the breakbeat percussion and drums, the echoes, all of it comes together with the bass line that just makes so much sense. Like it just makes sense, man. It Look, man, we end the album on tape number two, which is just this beautiful ambient track that utilizes nature sounds, like stereo fuckery in your headphones and like insane synthesizers. I absolutely loved this album. No skips. I think I'm about to give it my first 10 out of 10 this year. Standouts are the entire fucking thing.
Dude, couldn't agree more, man. I don't know if this album was a surprise release or not, but it's a surprise to us since we didn't know it was coming, and it's a very pleasant one at that. We reviewed most of these tracks as singles, so I'm not going to dive into this one track by track. You just did a beautiful job of doing that. But they were
Thank
great
you.
then, they're great now. When we reviewed Amplify as a single, I said that this was expert level shit, and I think that that statement is true for the entire album. He fucking crushed it, man. I have this one at like a strong nine, maybe even a light 10. Although, like, kind of know a 10 in your heart. I think this one is definitely going to grow for me, even at a nine. My standouts are Visions and Amplify, though, because those Lizette collabs are just beautiful. The second I finished this album, I was like, I need more. So, like, I went to his page and realized he dropped an album in 2020. Listened to that. And of course, there's two collabs with Lizette and RJ all of them are just fucking perfect, man. The guy can do no wrong. This is beautiful.
His circle set is with Lizette. It's not just Rodriguez Jr. It's him and Lizette doing their thing live.
Oh,
It's
that's right. Okay, so I didn't know who Lizette was at the time when I'd
Yep,
watched that. That was a while back.
yep. And they drop a number of IDs, which I'm not sure that they've ever dropped together.
I wonder if Amplify is one of them going back.
I checked, it's not.
Ah, interesting. So there's more music to be heard from them.
Yeah, well, at
Yeah, very
least
much on board.
maybe they want to release it, maybe they don't. Honestly,
Who's
I don't give a
RJLA?
fuck.
Do you know?
I have no idea, but all I know is that, my God, oh, this is RJLA is Rodriguez Jr. and Lisette
Okay, so it's
Leah,
like a
so it's
side
both of
project
them. Yeah,
moniker. Gotcha. Yeah, give me a whole album of that one day, but no rush because this will hold me over for all of time.
yep, straight
This one
up.
is fucking perfect, man. Album of the decade material. Good shit from
Is
Rodriguez
very,
Jr.
very fucking good.
Let's cap off this week with just another fucking banger, man. This one's Fires in the Distance album, Air Not Meant for Us. Incredible title. Love that shit. What are your thoughts on this one, man? I've been waiting all week.
Oh my goodness, man! So I actually sent you this album when I discovered it because I just happened upon it and was like seriously impressed with it. I added it this week so we could share our thoughts.
Hmm.
As you know, I am a big melodic death metal fan, and
Mellow Death.
I love it when bands can like be heavy and like include softer elements that don't necessarily soften up the music all too much. I think this project is a perfect example of that exact juxtaposition in Mellow Death. The piano intro, along with all of the piano elements and string instruments, like towards the end, layer up this intro track, Harbingers, uh, into like straight up beauty, man.
Hmm.
Wisdom of the Falling Leaves has everything I fucking love. Great song structure, the guitar solo, there's a violin solo, melodic passages, long doomy instrumental passages, crunchy riffs, introspective lyrics, and just a crescendo with all of those elements at once. Dear God, man. Crumbling Pillars of a Tranquil Mind starts with this like grandiose riff, which just eventuates into chugging riffs as the lyrics stand frozen, dead, and stilled in the motionless void. The hands of time stand still. Dear fucking God, man. The lyrics to this track, like most of them on the record, are poetic and just full of despair. The instrumental track Adrift Beneath the Listless Waves proves technical proficiency in every single one of the band members. Their riffage and drum grooves are just fucking great. The bass work on Psalm of the Merciless is like so intricate. The atmosphere
Yeah,
on this track is just fucking wild, man. And the guitar solo is obviously fucking epic. Um,
obviously.
the final track, Idiopathic Despair, the way these riffs go from heavy with melodies to piano riffs to like back to death growls is just fucking incredible, man. The strings overlaid with the piano bits as the drummer does this like polyrhythm thing as spoken words trail over it is just ethereal as fuck. Everything on this album is something I love. Everything is arranged fucking masterfully. The piano, the orchestral elements, the death metal, the doom metal, the melodies, the lyrics. While all of this has been done before, I think this album hits the nail right on the head over and over and over again. I really love this album, bro. I'm gonna give this one a 9. My favorite song is Idiopathic Despair, I think, but the vinyl that I bought is gonna get a lot of play.
Oh, I can tell. I saw you already have received it. Oh man. Holy shit, dude. Thanks for adding this one, man. It blew me away. I'm not super versed in mellow death beyond the bands you've shown me, but this might be my favorite project of any of the bands in that genre that we've reviewed so far. The way they incorporate all these just fucking incredible symphonic elements into what is already a very complex death metal base just continues to impress me with every listen. I was blown away from the beginning until the end. The only thing I was looking for a little more of was a more dynamic vocal range at times, but they do the Doom thing so well that I get it, you know? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this is
Yeah.
damn sure not broke. I'm feeling a strong 8 on this one. Harbingers is my standout, but goddamn, I feel like this is like my first album where it's like the pianos are really my standout. Every time those keys would come in, I'm just like, yes, dude.
Right.
It's not just that they incorporate them, it's how they incorporate them and how integral they are to the songs that they're on. They're not just
Oh
a
yeah.
layer they added in for complexity's sake.
Oh, you
It
take the
all works
pianos out,
together.
it's not the same.
No, it changes the atmosphere more than anything. And yeah,
Yep.
this whole music is about atmosphere to me, and I think they fucking nailed it, dude. I was like, I needed this one, man. We've been going through a lot of metal I like, but this is definitely some metal I love. And I got
Yes.
this one. You broke through to me, man.
Yes. Yeah, I bought their vinyl. I have a shirt from them on the way. I am officially a large Fires in the Distance fan.
Yeah, shout out Fires in the Distance. This was fucking great. All right, that does it for us this week. We will be off for the next week or so, but we will continue to add to our playlist and we'll break down the best and worst, of course, of all of it when we return. Keep an eye on our Instagram and Reddit for more info. If you like this episode, like, follow, subscribe. If you didn't, go pound sand. Until next time, peace.
Peace.